Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here tonight. I'm Regina on. Whitney is on assignment.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Our top story tonight, protesters gathered in front of the United States Postal Service office in downtown Spokane today. A lot of them not happy about recent changes, especially this close to an election when many Americans will be voting by mail due to the pandemic. Our Morgan Trow explains what exactly is happening with the agency.
It seems the United States Postal Service is changing their protocol every day. And people just wrapped up rallying outside the Riverside Post Office because they want people to be aware of the changes that are being made. And I'll keep you up to date on everything there is to know about the election.
The USPS has been struggling financially for years, and with the election coming up, workers are concerned about mail-in voting. There has been a push and pull between the executives and their employees, as Postmaster General Louis DeJoy ordered some locations to stop operating. Spokane was supposed to take over managing Wenatchee and Yakima's mail. Those locations received orders to shut down in early August. Just days later, they were told to remain open. But having to close and then reopen so quickly is causing a struggle in running equipment.
By pulling the machines out, or the machines are still there, they're just half the machine's gone, so it can never be used again. They're not operational.
Tacoma was another Washington location told to shut down.
They took them apart and dismantled them. Each machine is 36,000 letters an hour. They've lost almost 150,000 letters an hour processing capability out of Tacoma.
The U.S. House of Representatives just passed the Delivering for America Act. The bill stops USPS from making changes to operations, establishes requirements for the processing of election mail, and provides additional finances for the Postal Service Fund.
I'm a little concerned about the Senate because there's more Republicans in the Senate than in the House. It just seems that the Republicans never seem to want to, give the money to the post office.
That bill is the reason postal workers are rallying today. They say they need the $25 billion emergency fund because that money would help protect employees from layoffs, pay for overtime, and let them afford new equipment.
There was about 40 people in total who came to the rally, but it wrapped up about 30 minutes ago. And as you can see, there is one lone protester who is still trying to get his voice heard. Outside the post office, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
And the Idaho House has passed a resolution to end the state's coronavirus emergency declaration. The 48-20 vote came despite concerns that such a resolution was in violation of the state's constitution. Now, this resolution would lift restrictions across the state on all businesses, but it would also strip Idaho of its eligibility for some federal emergency aid money. And that resolution will go to the Senate next, and the state of emergency would end immediately if it is passed.
Breaking news also out of Idaho. Our sister station in Boise reporting that Ammon Bundy was taken into custody at the Lincoln Auditorium at the Idaho State Capitol. The Idaho State Police say that he refused to leave an empty room at the State House. ISP took 3 people into custody and handcuffed Bundy to a swivel chair that he refused to get out of. This comes as Idaho is in its second day of the legislature's special session. Ammon Bundy is the rancher who led an armed occupation of a federal wildlife refuge in Oregon back in 2016. This is a developing story. We'll bring you more updates coming up on KREM 2 News at 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. Meantime, we are learning more about the murder of a North Idaho woman and the man charged with killing her. That man was arrested just 2 days after the woman was reported missing in Bonner County. 67-year-old Bradley Leader faces second-degree murder along with a kidnapping and assault charge. Court documents show that Leader admitted to killing the woman to detectives. Last Wednesday, 66-year-old Evelyn Peterson was reported missing by her boyfriend out of their home near Priest River. 2 days later, a different man flagged down deputies in Priest River and said he'd been kidnapped at gunpoint and forced to dispose of Peterson's body in a wooded area. That suspect turned out to be Leader, who was later arrested. Leader allegedly told the victims that he strangled and fatally hit Peterson in the head following an argument at her home. Friends describe Peterson as a caring and kind person who had lived outside of Priest River for some time now. Peterson was also known for her ranch and often sold produce to local businesses.
I just don't understand why anyone would want to hurt her. She's been such a kind person. Everybody's just really disappointed. Everybody loved her. All of our local businesses in Priest River all knew her by first name. They just adored them. They're good people in our community.
According to court documents, Leader told detectives he wasn't remorseful about the murder. He's now in jail on a $1 million bond. Leader faces life in prison if he's convicted. Now to our wildfire coverage. There is some progress to report tonight about the Palmer fire burning in Okanogan County. The fire now a little more than 17,700 acres. Now decreased acreage is due to improved mapping of the fire perimeter, we're told. It's now 49% contained. A cold front that brought gusty winds yesterday did test fire lines, but crews say the fire did not exhibit any major growth. Today, some evacuation levels have been lifted or changed. The town of Loomis is now under a level 1 evacuation. Level 1 evacuations also issued for areas west of Wanacott Lake. Level 2 evacuations are in place for areas southeast and southwest of Bullfrog Mountain and Split Rock Day use area. That means be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Level 3 evacuations are in place for any area in the burn perimeter. Level 3 means get out now. And right now, the Okanogan County Emergency Management Team is hosting a virtual meeting about the Palmer fire. It's on Facebook Live. The Incident Management Team will give presentations and answer questions from the public. You can submit a question ahead of time. That email is right there on your screen.
All right, turning to weather now. We are seeing another warm, nice day around the inland northwest, but a cool down is set to come. Tommy, could be in the 70s by this weekend?
Yeah, by the end of the weekend. Saturday's still going to be a warm day with temperatures in the 80s. At least our air quality is good right now. Of course, we've got those fires burning around the region, but so far has not impacted our air quality. We're at 81 degrees. It's an absolutely beautiful early evening. Wind is out of the west-southwest right now at 13 miles per hour. Here's a look at your satellite and radar picture. We've got a little bit of moisture moving up from southeastern Oregon. It is moving into north central Idaho and southwestern Montana, but again, that's not bringing any rain showers here locally at all. And even the showers that we were tracking in north central Idaho look like they're becoming more and more isolated. We'll look for mostly clear skies this evening and overnight with a low of 55. Good sleeping weather. 86 will be the high on Wednesday with plenty of sunshine on tap. For the weekend, as I mentioned, Regina, we've got 86 on Saturday, but that cool front moves in on Sunday, drops our temperatures by 9 degrees. Also a chance of rain showers developing Sunday night into Monday. More on that and a look at your 10-day extended outlook coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, at least Saturday looks like it's going to be in the 80s. Thanks so much. Well, fall is soon going to be around the air in the inland northwest, and with coronavirus, some of our favorite fall activities will still happen, but others will not. KREM News' Amanda Rowley explains from Green Bluff.
Pumpkin spice latte and corn maze season is a pretty big deal here in Green Bluff. And if you've been here in falls in the past, you know that this intersection gets pretty busy. Now, even though Governor Inslee's office issued new guidance for activities that you would find here in Green Bluff, many of the growers in Green Bluff say that this will not mean many huge changes to what practices are already in place. So here's what you can expect this fall.
The proclamation still allows for agritourism, such as U-Pick and tree farms, to operate in Washington's Phase 2 counties. But the following activities will not be allowed: hay, wagon, or train rides, haunted houses, inflatable jumping houses, animal viewing, or petting areas. Most of the general requirements for businesses are practices already in place in Green Bluff, including requiring customers to wear masks, practice social distancing, and stay home if they do not feel well. Operations must be held outdoors whenever possible or in outdoor coverings with optimal ventilation. Indoor operations are limited to retail and food service activities. But fear not, PSL fans, this does not mean fall in Green Bluff will be completely canceled. You can still pick out your pumpkins, and corn mazes will be allowed, as long as social distancing is enforced, something Beck's Harvest House already accounted for.
So we will have our corn maze. We have cut it a little differently and made wider rows so you can social distance inside. You are outside in the fresh air. You're not confined. It'll work out just great. We're keeping the numbers down, so you don't have as many people in there at any given time.
Requirements specific to U-Pick and tree farms include one-way traffic in the fields and signage to ensure visitors wash their fruits and veggies before they are enjoyed. Finally, shared equipment like wheelbarrows and saws have to be sanitized between each use. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
We are all just trying to adapt. Well, we know a lot of you still have a lot of questions about how going back to school is going to work. And while most districts have already announced their plans for returning to school, there are still so many questions out there. And that's why we here at KREM are going to help you get those answers. We are assembling a team of experts, educators, psychologists, and public health officials to answer your questions. So send in a selfie video like this one with your question, and we'll work to get you an answer. Once you record that, email it to us at newsdesk@krem.com or text your video question to 509-448-2000, and then look for your question and the answer during our hour-long Back to School Your Questions Answered special. That's happening at 6 p.m. tomorrow night right here on KREM 2.